One of the big, in my view, myths around Asia's economic development story is that it all started after the market reforms, country by country. So it was in China after 1978, or Korea after the Korean War in the 1950s and 60s. What we see, if we really look at the data, is that much of the very first stage of economic development came through these basic breakthroughs in smallholder staple food production, what we now call green revolutions. So in China, a lot of this actually took place in the 1950s and even 1960s, actually significant boosts in the production per person and per hectare. And then in 1978, 79 and onwards, the market reforms were like taking the lid off to let the price effects and the incentives take shape around what was already a significantly productive rural economy, at least measured in output. And then it just jumped, and that was the second part of the story. Similarly, in Korea, there's the classic economics textbook first sentence, which is Korea and Ghana were at the same level of income in 1960. Why did Korea do so well and Ghana didn't do as well? It's actually not quite right. If you look at Korea, they were already producing, for example, more than 3 tons per hectare of rice and cereals, even in 1960, with a very intensive fertilizer use and modern seeds, much of which had actually been developed in 1930s, whereas Ghana, for example, wasn't even at 1 ton per hectare, so not even a third of the productivity in terms of output per land unit. We see that if we can get these complementary investment packages, which in the poorest countries and for growing food is really actually quite simple. It's water, it's nutrients, and seeds. And those are the things that ultimately go into growing food. And then, of course, you need the infrastructure, you need the roads, you need the access to the training and farmer support. But we need to make sure that in all parts of the world, those investments can be made available. There are some particular reasons why Africa didn't have those investments available, or even the technologies available, really until the 1980s. And then there was some unfortunate policies which prevented a larger scale set of investments. But now we're seeing, both with the growing interest in places like Africa, including from a lot of Asian firms, growing interest in investing in Africa,